Recent economic data from the United States suggests that artificial intelligence is transforming technology at remarkable speed, but not yet the broader economy. While GDP growth appears solid on the surface, closer analysis shows that this expansion is driven primarily by massive investment in AI infrastructure, engineers and data centers rather than by widespread productivity gains across the regular economy. In other words, the long-promised AI productivity boom has not yet arrived. Artificial intelligence systems are advancing rapidly. Sure, new models developed by companies such as OpenAI can now perform complex tasks with minimal human supervision, and AI tools are increasingly capable of producing research, writing code, and solving specialized problems. These breakthroughs have generated enormous optimism among policymakers and economists. Figures such as U.S. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent and economist Kevin Warsh have predicted that AI would soon generate substantial productivity gains, boosting economic growth and helping control inflation. At first glance, recent macroeconomic data appear to support those expectations. The U.S. economy grew by about 2.2% in 2025, while job creation slowed dramatically, with employment rising only marginally. This divergence between economic output and hiring suggests that each worker is producing more value, a classic sign of productivity growth. However, deeper analysis reveals a different reality. Measures of real GDP growth were far more modest than headline numbers suggest. And overall productivity growth remained close to historical averages. Estimated productivity growth of roughly 1.9% in 2025 is slightly below the long-term average of around 2% and far weaker than the dramatic productivity surge experienced during the Internet revolution of the 1990s and early 2000s. So there is little evidence of a transformative technology shock reshaping the broader economy. The main driver of recent GDP growth appears to be investment, specifically spending on AI-related infrastructure. According to research by economist Jason Furman of Harvard University, roughly 90% of U.S. economic growth in early 2025 came from capital expenditure on data centers, advancing computing systems, and related AI technologies. These investments require massive spending on specialized hardware, software development, and highly paid AI engineers, all of which increase economic output directly. Yet, such spending does not necessarily make the overall workforce more productive. Research from the Federal Reserve Bank of San Francisco reinforces that conclusion. When economists adjust productivity measures to exclude the temporary effects of heavy investment spending, underlying productivity growth appears close to zero. This suggests that the real economy, manufacturing, services, construction, and everyday business operations has not yet experience meaningful efficiency improvement from AI adoption. Other factors further explain the apparent rise in productivity. Changes in immigration policy have slowed labor force growth, particularly in lower productivity sectors such as agriculture and construction. Similarly, declines in temporary employment have reduced the number of lower output jobs in official statistics, mechanically raising average productivity without reflecting genuine technological progress. So it seems here that the government has a magic wand to fix the numbers. Although AI adoption is increasing, sure, its use remains limited in practice. Surveys by researchers at the Federal Reserve Bank of St. Louis suggest that about 40% of workers have experimented with generative AI tools, but only a small share use them regularly. AI accounts for less than 6% of total working hours, and most applications involve narrow tasks such as drafting text, answering questions, or assisting with computer programming. So the technology has not yet fundamentally transformed production processes or business operations. When AI is applied to specific tasks, it can produce impressive efficiency gains. Studies by researchers at Massachusetts Institute of Technology and Boston Consulting Group show that AI tools can significantly reduce task completion times and improve performance in control settings. Yet, these improvements remain confined to limited activities and have not translated into large-scale productivity increases across entire industries. Historically, technological revolutions generate major productivity gains only after businesses reorganize their operations around new technologies. The introduction of electricity, personal computers, and the internet initially produced modest gains. The true economic impact emerged decades later once companies redesigned workflows, supply chain, and business models. There is little evidence that such organizational transformation has occurred with AI as of today. Surveys indicate that executives devote minimal time to using AI, and most firms report no measurable improvements in overall labor productivity. Taken together, the evidence suggests that current U.S. economic growth reflects an investment boom centered on AI infrastructure rather than a genuine productivity revolution. Enormous spending on data centers, software development, and specialized talent is inflating GDP figures, but the broader economy has yet to experience the efficiency gains that will signal a true technological transformation. Something significant may indeed be happening in artificial intelligence itself, but for now, its impact on overall economic productivity remains limited and largely invisible in macroeconomic data.